Alright, Josh here, and welcome to another Pokemon VGC 2019 team overview. Today we're going to be looking at the team we're going to use on the channel for the next few weeks, and the team I built for the IC that was this past weekend. So, because it was an IC, I was like, okay, I need to build something half decent. But I always try and, when there's like an IC, I never expect to do super well, but I always like try and play all the games and try, do as best I can. But I always like to use something I'm comfortable with, because using something new, maybe I'm not 100% sure with some of the calcs and matchups and such and such. So I thought, okay, I'll use Xerneas. I'm super comfortable playing Xerneas team, so I was like, okay, that feels sensible to go in and try see. So I did use Xerneas. This is the same one as we used in the last team, the super bulky one, and I really like it. Like, I've not had I just don't feel like I've had any problems with it so far. Yeah, I just really like it. The bulk's amazing. So yeah, I was trying to think what to pair it with. Groudon's always an obvious one, and so is Kyogre. But then I thought about the old Lunala. Not used it in Ultra Series yet. I really liked it in Moon Series. I don't think I used it in Sun Series, but I did use Xerneas Lunala quite a bit in Moon Series. I probably actually used it in the last IC that there was, actually. Yeah, I think I did, actually. Yeah, I really like Lunala. It covers some of the threats to Xerneas like really well. I mean, like the Z move, it's going to OHKO Bronzong. It's going to, it can OHKO Stack Attacker depending on how bulky it is. They have to be like sassy, like max HP. Probably not quite max special defense, but a lot of special defense as well to live the Lunala Z move. So any chip you're going to get onto Stack Attacker, say, and the Z move is gone. Primal Groudon as well. Not OHKO'd by the Z move, but again, still going to be taking like 70% from it, which is, a lot. And Psyshock does a lot to stuff like Kyogre as well. And obviously Psyshock threatens stuff like a Moongus. The Z move on a Moongus as well probably doesn't, like I said, probably doesn't OHKO, but it does do a lot. So it's really nice. Usually on Lunala I go Moongeist Beam, Psyshock, Tailwind, and Protect. But I opted for, I really wanted Psycup. I really wanted to use the Psycup Lunala. I've never actually used that properly, but it's so good. If you've got Xerneas set up and Lunala psyched up next to it, it's just like, it's GG. Like, it's just super strong and really threatening. And Wide Guard is the last move, over Protect. Now, in testing, there's been some scenarios where I've been like, oh god, I really wish I had Protect. But then again, like, Wide Guard saved me like loads of times. It stops, Precipice Blade spam, Water Spout, Origin Pulse spam in Trick Room, stops Snarl, which is important. To keep your Xerneas boosted, especially when you go up against Incineroar and stuff. So Wide Guard has come in handy quite a lot, and I really like it. So yeah, we do have Wide Guard. It's an interesting one, but Lunala is so good. Like, it's just a mixed bag of tricks, I always say. So after I knew I had those two when I was team building, and then I was like, okay, I need some like support mons now. And my instant thought was, okay, let's put Tapu Fini on. Tapu Fini stops any statuses for a start. Super bulky, can Icy Wind for speed control. We've got Moonblast. I think I did have Scald on the last Tapu Fini. I mean, I would have Scald, but I only really like Scald when it's on a Rayquaza team, because it's a bit unreliable if you're playing obviously like Primal Groudon and you've got Scald and the other thing you're attacking with is Icy Wind. It's not ideal really. So we've got Moonblast over Scald. Heal Pulse to heal up Xerneas, and you can also heal up Lunala if your Shadow Shield's broken. Heal it back up, sound. And the last move is Taunt, because I want to be able to taunt. I want to be able to taunt like Chansey teams, etc. All those nasty gimmicky teams that you bump into on the IC. Yeah, I really like Tapu Fini. Hit Pulse is amazing. One thing I failed to mention, whoops, is that these two, like I say, cover each other's weaknesses, but there is one weakness they do share to Mega Gengar. So it's not a massive issue. It's not been a big issue. A lot of Mega Gengars actually have dropped Shadow Ball. Most are running like Protect, Sub, Sludge Bomb, and then Disable or Taunt or Skill Swap. I've seen a couple of times, or Hidden Power Water. Oh, I actually ran into one on Showdown running Haze. I didn't see that one coming. I knew Gengar got Haze, but I've just not seen anyone use it. That's kind of annoying, but. Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, Lunala is not KO'd by a Shadow Ball unless it's been fake tearsed or chip. Obviously, the Shadow Shield's been broken first. Mega Gengar's so fast. There's not many things that like get the Shadow Shield broken before Mega Gengar attacks, unless they run a slow one specifically for that. But yeah, but as long as your Shadow Shield's intact, you're going to be living a Shadow Ball, and you can OHKO back with Moongeist Beam, or the Z move, whichever you want. So that's really nice. So then I was like, okay, we've got Xerneas, Lunala, Fini, so I need some more Xerneas support. Xerneas support is Fake Out is so important, and Redirection. I was like, what should we have? What should we have? I didn't actually try. I tried Pachirisu at one point. That was actually quite funny because it can live a Choice Band Dragon Ascent like quite handily. It takes like 64% or something from a Choice Band Dragon Ascent, which is absolutely mental. I thought that was quite funny. But I didn't end up going with Smeargle because I do want Fake Out. We've got that Focus Sash because that's so important. With pretty much standard max HP, max speed. Obviously follow me, Fake Out, Spore. I always like having Spore even though I've got Tapu Fini. It's important, I think. And then the last one, I don't like Lovely Kiss, that's why I really hate Lovely Kiss. I'd Spore all the way. And then the last one is Explosion, because so in that last slot on Smeargle in the past I've run either it's usually been Wide Guard or Spiky Shield. Another one you could use is Crafty Shield, but I've got Fini, so I'm not too worried about Crafty Shield. But Explosion, because the one thing I was thinking about is like when you're going up against a team and Smeargle gets taunted, it just feels like it becomes instantly useless. Then you have to switch out. Your opponent can read that you're going to switch out. They can attack into that slot. They can Icy Wind you. You know, like if I switch, like say I don't have Explosion, I have Wide Guard. Then I have to switch Smeargle out into like something like Lunala, and my Shadow Shield gets broken or something like that. It's not ideal. So I was like, okay, if I have something Explosion, say I'm taking down to my Sash, get a big attack off. I mean, it's stabs, high base power. It's still doing nothing to everything, but it's better than nothing. And I get a free switch in, and I can kind of position myself better then, rather than just having to like hard switch because of a taunt. It's not ideal. I mean, sometimes you do want a hard switch if you want to keep Smeargle around, but if I don't want to keep Smeargle around anymore, I just Explosion. Done. If I'm taunted, and people don't really expect it, and it's some nice chip on stuff. So that's nice. One of the reasons for Explosion is because I always think about when I think like, okay, what would I lead against? If my opponent led this, like what can I do against that? So I was thinking, okay, Smeargle, Xerneas lead. Classic lead. It's a lead I really like playing. It's a good lead. So if we go Smeargle, Xerneas, my opponent goes, say, Xerneas, Incineroar. Super common lead. That's not too bad. Fake out the Incineroar, above Xerneas probably, Geomancy, then, you know, Dazzle, well, like, or Moonblast the opposing Xerneas, and Spore the Incineroar slot. Or you Dazzle, Spore, if a Tapu Fini switches in, it's fine, you get some chip on it. If an Amoonguss switches in, it's not the end of the world. That's probably what I would do. But if my opponent led something like Xerneas, Amoonguss, that's always like a problematic lead, I reckon. So say turn 1, you fake out the Amoonguss with Smeargle, your opponent Geomancies, you Geomancy. Okay. Then, it's probably likely that your opponent would go like Dazzle or Moonblast into Xerneas and Spore the Smeargle slot. Or they might Rage Powder. Or they might Clear Smog. So if you go... So I mean, if you protect Xerneas that turn, and then go Explosion with Smeargle, like say Smeargle's taken down to the Sash by Dazzling Gleam, go for Explosion, Xerneas is protected, you get a bit of chip onto Amoonguss, you get a bit of chip onto Xerneas, and then you get a free switch into Lunala. Lunala's not going down to a +2 Moonblast, you just Psyshock the Amoonguss, or Z it if you want, because it should have taken a bit of damage by then, and you've got rid of that thing, and you can focus on the Xerneas. So I quite like it. I'm going to see if it... I hope that made sense. I'm bad at explaining stuff, but yeah, like in my head, it's there. It's just I can't say it out loud. So yeah, Explosion, I'll see. If it I hope it comes into play on the channel, because I kind of want to see if it... I've done it a couple of times on Showdown, and it does kind of work, so yeah, I was quite happy with that. Then, obviously, I was thinking, right, I need a Mega. I needed Intimidate big time, and I didn't want Incineroar, really. I could have Incineroar on this team. I was just worried being a bit Kyogre weak. So yeah, and I did want Intimidate, so I thought, okay, let's use Mega Salamence. Gives us a Tailwind option, which is always quite handy. Got Protect, I think that's important. We are hasty over Naive. I can't remember. I don't think there's an actual reason why. It's just its defense is so high. It's probably fine. Hyper Voice and Double Edge, the mixed variant. I like this variant the best. I think Hyper Voice is really good. Salamence as well was just really good against Primal Groudon. You know, you can switch into it quite freely, and Hyper Voice does a lot to Primal Groudon. Like a one-on-one, it beats it, unless it's like a special one with Hidden Power Ice, but that's not really common. So you're usually fine. Obviously, you just have to be wary of other Xerneas, but if you know, you can play around that. So yeah, Mega Salamence is the Mega. And then last but not least, we've got the Assault Vest Kartana. I have always liked Focus Sash Kartana, but I do have the Focus Sash on Smeargle, so I was like, and I can't take that off Smeargle, so I was like, okay, let's go. I was considering going Z, but you know Lunala has the Z move, so I was like, oh no, okay, let's go AV, because I can live a +2 Moonblast, which is nice, and you know, do a decent chunk back with Smart Strike, as long as I'm not intimidated. Leaf Blade does not OHKO Primal Kyogre. I think it does OHKO No Bulk Primal Kyogre, but nobody should be running No Bulk Primal Kyogre. Primal Kyogre's best, like, slow, bulky, in my opinion. So it can live a Leaf Blade, but it's okay if you chip it a bit. It's still gonna be, it's just like 80%. Knockoff is kind of okay. It's come in handy quite a few times actually. Sacred Sword and Smart Strike are just necessary. Knockoff has been quite good for stuff like, played one game where I led Salamence Kartana, and yeah, Hyper Voice plus, like, I think they had a Lunala on, yeah, they led a Lunala, and just Hyper Voice knockoff. That's a dead Lunala, you know, that was kind of good, and Kartana can just run over things. So I haven't really used Kartana much. This is the first time in Ultra Series I'm using Kartana, I think, actually. It's like my favourite grass type. I've just not been using it, and I don't know why. Like, it's still good, but there's a lot of Intimidate spam, and Mega Salamence is super threatening. Mega Rayquaza is super threatening. And Primal Groudon, you know, Leaf Blade is not doing anywhere near as much anymore, so I do have to kind of be careful of that, but I do still like it. It is a good Pokemon. So, like, leads for this team, Smeargle Xerneas is a classic lead. I've already kind of been through that. I really like leading Smeargle Lunala as well. That's kind of good, especially if it's like a Lunala mirror, but if your opponent's got Lunala as well, because you're super safe. You can, yeah, I mean, you're not worried about taking any Ghost Type moves. Again, you could lead it against a Mega Gengar as well. It's kind of nice doing that. I think I could go something like Smeargle Salamence if I really want to set up Tailwind. I sometimes like just leading Tapu, Fini, and Lunala, like a bulky lead that can, you know, take attacks and get an Icy Wind off or something like that. But yeah, it's been okay in testing. Explosion Smeargle. I hope that Abuga's plan I spent like 5 minutes discussing kind of comes, we actually play a game where that plan goes into action. It does work, so we'll see. Anyway. Do I want to say anything else about this team? Do I want to say anything else? No, not really. It's okay. Like, I really like these four. These four are super good. I think maybe these two. I would like to come back to this team in the future and potentially change these two up a bit, maybe. There's certainly other things that would work in these slots. One thing I actually want to do, I'm super going off topic now, I do apologise, but like, as you can see, in my team building now, I've got all the teams we've used over the past few weeks. We've got X-Ray, Ultra Necrozma, Xerneas, that Lopunny team. Oh no, it was Ultra Necrozma Kyogre, sorry, wasn't it? Whoops. I do want to come back to some of those teams we've used, like X-Ray, for example, and just kind of update it. Like, maybe not use Serena, use something else. Maybe not use Landorus, use something else. You know, just give them a revamp, test out some other mons with them and stuff like that. And I probably will do that for this team in the future, because like I said, I really like these four. It's just these two slots, although they have both come in handy in games, I find myself bringing Xerneas, Lunala, Smeargle, Fini most of the time. So when you do that, you can maybe think, okay, maybe the last two slots could change. But for the next few weeks, we're going to use this team, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, cheers for watching this little video, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all in a bit.